When people think of the Beatles, names like John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison usually dominate the spotlight. But what about Ringo Starr? For decades, critics dismissed him as just the drummer, or the least talented of the Fab Four. Yet, John Lennon himself once made a confession that completely flips that narrative on its head. In an interview reflecting on Abbey Road, Lennon took aim at Paul's songs, calling them less impressive. But he singled out George Harrison and Ringo Starr as the real standouts. That's right, Ringo, the so-called underdog, was finally catching Lennon's attention. When Lennon described Ringo's Octopus's Garden, he admitted it wasn't yet on the level of his own or McCartney's work. But here's the twist. Lennon didn't dismiss it. Instead, he said Ringo was only a few years behind. In Lennon's world, that wasn't an insult. It was a prediction, a warning almost. Ringo Starr was evolving and fast. Lennon explained that it had taken George Harrison years to catch up, and now it was Ringo's turn. What sounded like a backhanded comment was actually a rare sign of respect. And sure enough, Ringo would go on to prove himself with hits like It Don't Come Easy and a string of successful albums. But Lennon didn't stop there. In a later interview, he went even further, shocking fans by saying he was actually happiest for Ringo's success. He admitted the world had painted Ringo as dumb and incapable of writing. But Lennon rejected that completely. Instead, he praised Ringo's growth, and even confessed that some of Ringo's music was probably better than mine, actually. Imagine that. John Lennon openly saying his band's drummer had, at times, outshined him. Their bond carried into Ringo's 1973 self-titled album Ringo, a milestone record, because it was the only post-Beatles project to feature Lennon, McCartney, Harrison, and Starr together. It was a rare moment of unity after the breakup, and a sign of how deeply Lennon respected his old bandmate. Looking back, Lennon believed the Beatles were stronger apart than together. He pointed out that each member had finally broken free, proving themselves individually. George became the breakout success with All Things Must Pass. Paul experimented with Ram. Lennon poured his soul into Plastic Ono Band, and Ringo silenced his critics with hit singles and even movie roles. As Lennon put it, the Beatles had left school, and now they had real jobs. And in his eyes, they were all better musicians for it. So, was Ringo Starr really just the drummer? Not according to John Lennon. To Lennon, Ringo was the dark horse, the one everyone underestimated, until he proved he could run alongside the very best.